First in space. The first man flew into space in 1961 and the first woman in 1963. Both were from the former Soviet Union. The United States space program concentrated on landing on the moon. Yuri Gagarin, a pilot in the Soviet Union's Air Force, orbited Earth in a Vostok spacecraft in April 1961. The flight took less than 2 hours. While returning to Earth, Gagarin ejected from the spacecraft at 7,000 meters and parachuted to the ground. The spacecraft used another parachute to land. In 1963, Valentina Tereshkova orbited Earth 48 times in Vostok 6 and spent almost 3 days in space. In February 1962, John Glenn, in Friendship 7, became the first US astronaut to orbit the Earth. The US Apollo program was devoted to the goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. In December 1968, Apollo 8 orbited the moon with 3 crew members on board. The crew of Apollo 9 took part in the first flight of the lunar module. In May 1969, Apollo 10 carried out the final practice for a moon landing. It traveled to within 15 kilometers of the moon's surface and made the first live color TV broadcast from space. Amazing facts about space. Before people ventured into space, scientists sent animals so they could observe how the animals coped with being in space. The dog Laika was the first mammal from Earth to orbit the planet. Laika died from stress and overheating during her 1957 space mission in the Russian spacecraft Sputnik 2. As telescopes have become more powerful, they have allowed us to observe planets, galaxies, and other solar bodies in greater details. In 1990, the Hubble telescope was sent into orbit. Galileo Galilei discovered 4 moons orbiting Jupiter in January 1610. The Indian Astronomical Observatory, which sits 4,517 meters above sea level in Hanley, India, is the world's highest observatory telescope. Amateur astronomers use refracting telescopes. The earliest telescopes were all refracting telescopes, including the famous and very simple telescope used by Galileo Galilei in the early 1600s. The Keck telescopes, the world's largest optical telescopes, are located on the dormant Mauna Kea volcano on the island Hawaii. Hubble is the size of a large school bus. It fits inside the cargo bay of a space shuttle. The Hubble Space Telescope spotted young brown dwarfs for the first time in the Orion Nebula. Brown dwarfs are also called failed stars because they are too small to be an ordinary star. They cannot sustain nuclear fusion in their cores the way our Sun does. Hubble is serviced and newer technology is installed by astronauts on spacewalks. This means that Hubble can benefit from the same advances as ground-based telescopes. The Hubble Space Telescope completes one full orbit of Earth every 97 minutes. A three-stage rocket, Saturn V, was used to take astronauts to the Moon in the Apollo spacecraft. All spacecrafts and satellites are taken into space by rockets. The largest and most powerful rocket ever built was the Saturn V rocket. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.